And now we welcome Elżbieta Bieńkowska, former Poland's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Regional Development and Transport, right before she became a European Commissioner in the team of Jean-Claude Juncker from 2014 to 2019. Welcome to TVP World, and thank you very much for joining us on this special day.
Good afternoon.
So you were very much hands-on involved in that process of transformation here in Poland. To begin with, can you tell us perhaps what it was like in Poland before 20 years ago and what it is like now? Can you give us perhaps a contrasted image of those two countries before and now?
As I think everyone in Poland and everyone who comes to Poland observe, this is a completely different country, and there are different aspects of this. Of course, we gain a lot from the European money. I was involved in the European regional policy and cohesion policy, but the benefits that we got from the single market are 5 times bigger. So this is a completely different country. Of course, we had a very difficult time after us in the last 8 years, and it also learned us something, and also it taught us something, and it also taught something European Union, our partners in the European Union. But I think, and I also underline this, that we didn't want to join EU only for the money and for those benefits. We joined EU because we felt Western Europeans. We felt that we belong to the Europe as we knew it and as we are longing to this during communist time. But of course, let me give you just one example. At the moment we are joining EU, the GDP of all together, all of the countries that were joining EU in 2004 were lower than GDP of Spain. Soon, in 3-4 years' time, Poland's GDP alone will be higher than Spain, as the data shows. So this is just one thing to remember for us, that this is enormous economic success, and especially in Poland, we doubled our GDP during the last 20 years. It's much more. We are much more successful in this than all of our neighboring friends.
Right, and integration into the European Union is not an easy task. I was wondering if you can shed a little bit light on the effort made by Poland's part to achieve these economic metamorphoses.
Of course, it was different periods. Of course, I saw you had guests that were responsible at the governmental level for the accession. I was since 1996 involved in the regional administration in the topics connected with the European Union and with the European integration. First, this was just learning how to deal with our partners in EU. Then we had a lot of pre-accession programs. Of course, those programs were managed by the national government. But I think that the biggest jump was done in the regional administration and the regional governments in Poland. This is enormous change from we saw in 1998 when the regional administration was created, autonomous, self-governed regional administration, and now the departments responsible for the European funds were those which were guiding us and the rest of the regions and the local administration that were guiding our local colleagues as well, how to deal with the European money, but also how to discuss the things, the topics, the issues that we had with the European Commissions, with the European Commission officials, and it is something that cannot be minimized.
Indeed, I think for many people who now enjoy the benefits of living in the European Union, especially the younger generation, it's probably forgotten how much hard work was put in by people like yourself to ensure that we live in a country like we do now. And I was wondering whether you could just tell us a little bit about the greatest challenges of those times for someone like yourself who actually did all that very hard work, the nitty-gritty work. What were the hardest things for you as a high-level government official to ensure that we live in the country that we live now with the roads and the resources that are available to us today?
As I said, the first thing it was the administrative capacity, because we had to really change our legislation in line with the European one to make those links and those hooks that were connecting us with the EU. But then there was this technical things that how to deal with this enormous amount of money, how to again discuss it with the Commission when of course the Commission's officials, then we had quite a few Polish people there, so Commission officials also didn't know the country. And Poland is a big country. It was the biggest one of those joining EU in 2004. So you could not treat it exactly the same as our, for example, Baltic states, where like I was always joking, one project in Poland, big project, infrastructure project in Poland is equal to the whole program, for example, in Latvia or Lithuania. So but what I want to really reiterate is that we did it with a lot of enthusiasm, and those departments, both in the national administration and in the regional administration, local in the cities, in the local administration, all those departments were the youngest one in the whole city halls, for example, on marshal offices in Poland. So it was really enormous enthusiasm, both from the perspective those older officials who were remembering the previous times, and also from the young people who really wanted to work on those issues. And then they really spread this knowledge throughout the administration. And I think the administrative capacity was the most important, definitely.
All right, so like you mentioned, it is a lot of hard work for Poland's integration into the European Union, and it is not without its hurdle that was eventually overcome with enthusiasm. And we're looking at a very curious issue here when it comes to Ukraine and other countries that have their aspiration to join the European Union. Do you think Poland makes a good example, a model, or a case study for these countries to perhaps follow our footsteps and be able to find a way to integrate into the European Union, hopefully sooner rather than later?
Of course, we are the model for those countries who were before the war, definitely, and we were the model because we started from the same level. We were at the same level as Ukraine, and look at Ukraine even before the war, and Poland during the last 20 years, how we developed economically, how we developed mentally, how we really strengthen our links with the Western world and the Western economy. But I think it will be it is extremely important for all of us in Poland to understand that having Ukraine and Moldova and Balkans in EU is something that really pays off in our security. And this is now or never. This is time for them to join EU, and we see, for example, as we were observing the farmer protests, how difficult it will be. But also we can remind how difficult it was this 20 years ago for the farmers in, I don't know, France, Germany, Spain to accept our membership in the EU. And the situation is much more dramatic now because we have a war at Polish and European borders. So I think that there is a need first to understand, then to understand through the public space, then to start the negotiations as soon as possible and have those countries in EU, because this is a question, this is a subject of our security in the future.
Indeed. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon and on this very special anniversary. Elżbieta Bieńkowska, Poland's former Deputy Prime Minister and former Minister of Regional Development and Transport. Thank you very much for joining us on TVP World.
Thank you.